Hello, aspiring developers. I hope you're doing fine. Welcome to today's session. Today we're going to learn regular expressions, better known as RegEx. Some uses of regular expression include pattern matching, form validation, credit card validation. In this video, we're going to have a sneak peek at flags and characters in regular expressions. We're going to learn about how to compose a regular expression. We're also going to test it across several use cases, and in the next video we are going to use form validation after we have understood the basic structure or building blocks of regex. So if you are ready for today's session on pattern matching, let's dive right in. As we start off, we are going to visit our website regexr.com. Yeah, so this website is going to allow us to understand regular expression before we go straight and try implementing it in our codes. So let's start first by erasing everything that is provided here. Also, you can come to flags and you disable this G flag here, because you're going to learn about everything step by step such that you can understand it in the best, or rather in the easiest possible manner. So now let's start off. For us to understand regular expression, the first thing that we need to understand is that regex is used for pattern matching. Example is, you may want to match the word R, and you want to look for the word R in some text sample that is provided. So you see that once you type in the word R, then you see it is highlighted from this text samples that we have. You may also want to look for the word there. So you just come and type in here the word there, and you see that all instances of there are being, no, only one instance of there is being highlighted. You may also want to look at, to maybe find the word output, and you see that you only have one instance of output being logged to the console. But if you look for something which is not there, like programmers, then you see that no instance of programmers is being highlighted, and you see there is no match found in the characters that are provided below. You also want to find every instance of a space, and so you just tap on space, and you see that space is being highlighted. And if you want to find all instances of space, you just add the G flag. Okay, so we come to flags, tap on G, and you see that all instances of space are being highlighted. So that is basically why we use regex, to match a pattern with, or rather to test if a certain provided text matches some specific pattern. So for us to understand how regex works, let's go straight to instances of regex, or rather let's understand what this G means, what these slashes mean, and all that in regex. So let's head over to that interesting part. Yeah, so back to regex, we notice that you can search for either a full word, or let's say create, or you can search for maybe a part, bits of a part of a word. So example 8 or 80. So you see 80 will match every occurrence of 80 within this text field. But that is because we have a flag by the name G. So this G flag returns every instance of whatever you're trying to search for. So you notice that if it is disabled, you only match the first occurrence of whatever you're trying to look for. So the first occurrence is the AT at created. But if you add the G flag, then you're able to match every occurrence of letters, or rather of words having AT within them, either as part of that text or as a complete word. Yeah, so the next flag that you're going to look at, so you see this G flag, it's called the global search. It retains the index of the last match, allowing iteration of searches. That means that it goes through the whole document looking for AT, and in our case here it highlights it. So the next flag that we are going to look at is the case insensitive flag. Case insensitive, by cases, you know, we're talking about the uppercase, the lowercase. Uppercase to mean capital letters to some, and lower or rather lowercase to mean small letters. So you see that if I search for the word, let's say search for the word explore, and this time allow me to clear this and write our own article there. So we have explore, we have explore, we have explore. So you see that we have three instances of explore, one starting with a capital E, the other one is completely lowercase, and this one has different case matches. So at first, if our flag is, if the I flag or the case insensitive flag is checked out, then you notice that only one instance of explore is returned. That is the one that starts with the capital E, because that is exactly what we are looking for. Now, if you replace this to the small a, then it highlights the instance with the small a. But now, if you want to test if you're trying to match a pattern without checking for the exact case, or rather the capitalization, then you just need to pass in the I flag or the case insensitive flag, such that anything that you pass will be case insensitive, and it will look for all those patterns that you're trying to match. To look for all those patterns that you're trying to match, despite the case that you pass to that pattern. So that is the use of the G, which is the global, and the I, which is the case insensitive. You also have the multi-line, the single line, the Unicode, and the sticky. You notice that here we are dealing with strings. So if we try to deal with lines, then we're going to use the multi-line or the M flag. But now, for now, we first want to understand how regex work. So we'll just be dealing with strings. We will stick to the G and the I flag. But for now, allow me to remove both the G and the I flag, so that you can understand a few characters in regex. So with all flags removed, also clear this, and I'll return the texts, the long text that you are currently having provided. To implement pattern matching, regex uses several characters. Now let us look at a few of the characters that regex utilizes to use, or rather to implement, pattern matching. I am going to start with the W character. So if you pass in W, you see that it searches for occurrence of the word W. But if you now add a escape sequence, you see that it highlights the first letter on our provided text string. So let's just pass the G flag so that you can be able to view changes across everything. Yeah, so this W word matches everything that is alphanumeric, whether it is a letter or a number. So let me just add my contact detail. My contact detail is +2547 00000000, and email is janjaprogrammers@gmail.com. Yeah, at gmail.com. So you notice that it matches every occurrence of an alphanumeric character, that is, whether it is a letter or a number. But there are certain things that it does not match, that is the white space You see the white space is not highlighted. Certain characters like the plus, the ampersand, you also notice that the at symbol and the full stop or the period symbol have also not been highlighted. So that is the work of the W. But first you have to escape. So the first character that we're learning is the escape character. These are backslash, that is called an escape character, and it is used when you're trying to use or rather to call special characters in regex. So you first have to pass that backslash, then you follow it with the symbol or the special symbol that you want to test in regex. The second special symbol that we have is the backslash D, and you see that this highlights every instance of a digit or a number. So here we have this number 2547 and several zeros. So you see that all that is highlighted. Even if I add any other number like say 10 in the middle of a word, you see that that is also highlighted. If I have it at the start of a letter, at the start of a sentence, you see that that is also highlighted. So this slash or rather backslash D or escape D is used to match any digit character that is between 0 and 9. So you notice that all numbers are between 0 and 9. So that is what is going to be matched. If you try something like a -1, you see the negative sign is not being matched, but the 1 sign is being matched. So better still, you can say that the slash D or the escape D is used to match abstract numbers or positive numbers. So that's it for the slash D. The other special character that we have is the slash S. Slash S is used to match spaces or white spaces. So anytime you tap on enter on your keyboard, you notice that it adds some space. So let's say hello, then I tap on enter, so there's a space. You see that it's highlighted, and I say hello. They say this is a space. So you see all that is highlighted, and despite the number of spaces, it will always highlight all that space. Yeah. So we're going to learn about ranges in regex, or rather in regular expressions or in regex. So range is denoted by okay, we need this text. Range is denoted by square brackets. So you see that this one matches any characters in a set. So if you want to test for, say, alphanumeric characters, for now we have been using exact text to look for the texts within the strings, or rather the texts paragraphs that we've been provided with. But for now, we want to try and look, or rather match words without actually typing the complete word. So we can maybe look for any occurrence of a lowercase letter A to Z. But you see that if I type A to Z, then this is not highlighting anything from our text. So now we have to pass this as a set using the character square brackets, such that it highlights every occurrence of a lowercase letter, because A to Z, those are the alphabetical letters, but now in the lowercase. We also want to highlight the all occurrences of instances in the uppercase. So you just pass in the A to Z in the uppercase, but within this square brackets to denote that this is a character set. And you see that all occurrences of capital letters have been highlighted, whether or not they appear in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a word, or at the beginning of a sentence. All of capitalized words are being added there. You can also specify that you need to test for either the small case or the upper case. And you see that when you pass that inside that character set, then everything is being highlighted, whether it's a lowercase or an uppercase number. So I can also add my contact. Contact is 07000000 and email is janjaprogrammers@gmail.com. So janjaprogrammers@gmail.com. And so you notice that all occurrences are being highlighted except for the numbers and the special characters like the at and the and. But you may also want to have this being added to the set of whatever you're trying to look for. So you can still pass in there 0 to 9 to denote the digits 0 to 9. And you see that now even the digits have been highlighted. So the last thing that we're going to test, or rather we already know how to check for digits using the backslash D or escape D. So you just pass escape D inside that character set, then it's going to include that in whatever pattern you're trying to match to the text that you've been given. I'll also clear all this so that we can simply understand whatever you're trying to search. So we can have Janja, we can have Danja, we can have Banja, and we can have Kanji. So you see that here we have 4 words, all are ending in Anja, but the start of the word is what is different. So this time what we need is we need the case insensitive such that it can allow us to search for the capitalized start of that letter. So you see that if you type in Anja, then all occurrences of Janja are being highlighted, of Anja are being highlighted, whether it's the J, the D, the B, or the K. Now if you only search for J, then only the occurrence of J is being highlighted. Same to D. See that only occurrence of D is being highlighted. But see now that you may want to search for anything that ends with the word Anja. So you can just pass in as a set. Remember that we said we're using character sets. So we want to test for anything that has Janja. Or rather, right now we know that we only have 4 occurrences of Anja. So the first occurrence starts with a J, and you see that all occurrences having J then Anja are being logged, or rather are being highlighted. We can use this other symbol that you want to learn of. This is called the pipe symbol. Normally it's shift, then that letter just before the enter on your keyboard. Then the next we have the D for the Danja. So you pass in. So this will check the first. We pass in as a character set. We are testing whether it's J or D that starts. Then if it's being followed by Anja, and if it's being followed by Anja, and that is what is highlighted. So we see that Janja and Danja are being highlighted. We can also look for an occurrence where we also have a B starting before Anja. And you see that we have Banja also being highlighted. And you can still use the OR and search for occurrence where K starts. And you see that Kanja is being highlighted. So the pipe symbol is used to test whether a letter, or rather whether the character that is before the pipe or after the pipe matches. Then if it matches whatever you're trying to look for, it will highlight it, then test for the next part after that character set. So it must end in Janja. So you notice that if I only write J or D or B or K, nothing is being logged to the nothing is being highlighted. But if I clear this, you see that they will be highlighted. So this only tests for occurrence of these letters. I might want to remove K. Yeah, you see that K is not highlighted, but every occurrence of D, B, and J are being highlighted, including this one and this and. But now, if you add the A, N, J, you see that these three are now not being highlighted, but these ones have now been highlighted. So we use the pipe symbol to test the occurrence of either the first character before the pipe or the second character before the pipe. Yeah, so that's how we use the pipe symbol to test the occurrence of either one digit or the other digit. So now we already know about ranges. We've learned about ranges. We've also learned about full, let's say full word matching. We've learned about the global flag. We've also learned about the insensitive flag. We've learned about, let me call them characters. And the characters we've learned about include the set, the backslash or the escape sequence, the pipe. We've also learned about special words, or rather special letters. We can call these character symbols or special symbols. And we also have learned about special letters like the W, the S, and the D. So now we know how to match a complete occurrence of either a word or a text, the occurrence of spaces, the occurrence of digits. We also know how to pass a set or a character set where we're only testing for a range of something but within a character set. We've also known how to escape a special letter or symbol, and we've also learned about the pipe symbol. And just to emphasize on the escape, I can now show you the use of another use of escape. So you use escape, then you search for art, and you see that now art is being highlighted. So you may say you're searching for the occurrence of W. You're searching for the occurrence of W. Yeah, W. Then you're searching for the occurrence of art. So you see that here in our case, we have S and art being highlighted, but we expect it to highlight everything, including the art symbol. So if you now remove this art, you see that everything has been highlighted, but now our Janja programmers at Gmail, the art has been ignored, or rather is not being highlighted. So if you want to add this art, you can just pass this as you can use this parenthesis to match a group. We're also learning about groups, or rather grouped characters. And the character that you want to group, the backslash W, such that all occurrences of either a capital or a small or a number is being highlighted. But we also want to match for art. So there's also this special character plus. So you see that it matches for the occurrence of everything that is before everything that is a word before the art symbol. And if you also use the plus, then again you pass in the W, and another plus. You see that it also matches for everything that is after the the next word that is after the W. So this art, you can remove this art, the plus symbol, The plus symbol is used to check for one or more occurrence of the preceding symbol that you pass. So you see that this plus occurrence before the at, it checks for an existing word before the at symbol. So it matches one or more of the preceding token. So the preceding token here is /w, and it looks for one or more occurrence of a w or a word character or a string character before the at symbol. And when we pass this plus after as the last symbol there, it also matches for one or more occurrence of this symbol that we've passed there to precede it. And you see that now janjaprogrammers@gmail.com is highlighted. If at all you remove this, this first part, you see that it starts highlighting from at, and then now it also highlights all the preceding characters that match the word /w that is after the at symbol. So that is the use of this plus for the addition. We can just call it the character plus or a quantifier, as you see from the tooltip that has been provided. So now let's simply understand the question mark symbol. This is the question mark symbol, this one here. It is used to show that something is optional. So this question mark symbol simply denotes that whatever you're trying to pass is optional. So you can say that you're testing for Janja, but the first J is optional. So you notice that Anja is being, any occurrence of Anja has been highlighted. But for the start of whatever letter starts or rather precedes the word Anja has been, for this case, it has been ignored from the highlighting. From the occurrence where we have J being there, then it has been highlighted. This one tells us that any character that is preceding this question mark is optional. So you can either pass it or you cannot pass it. So if you pass it, then the other parts will be logged to will be shown or highlighted. But if you don't pass it, also still the other parts will be highlighted. So without this, you see that only Janja has been highlighted. Only occurrences of Janja has been highlighted. But if you have this as optional, then you notice any letter can precede the word Anja, and all occurrences of Anja are being highlighted. So that's how to use the question mark symbol. There's also the full stop, or rather the period. So there's this period symbol, and when you use a period, you notice that everything has been highlighted. Actually, everything, whether it's a symbol, a white space, a letter, or a number, all of them are being highlighted. So if you want to check for occurrence of a period, then you have to use the backslash for you to only highlight periods. So I forgot to add here the period. Yeah, the period. So if you only want to check for the period, then use a backslash. But if you want to check for occurrence of anything at all, so if you are allowing anything at all, this is mostly used on text areas, because on text areas you want your users to type literally anything. So you can use the dot symbol to allow your user to pass anything to that text area space that you have provided for them. There's also the asterisk, and the asterisk is simply used to check for the preceding character. So here we can also say Anja, then asterisk, or rather let's say J asterisk. So you see J asterisk, it checks for any, we can say it checks for one actually not one, 0 or more occurrence of the preceding let's say token or character. So J is the character that we are looking for, but now this star symbol will check for 0 or more of the preceding token. This asterisk is kind of similar to the plus that we talked about, but plus checks for 1 or more preceding token. So if there is 1 or more preceding token, then it will be highlighted. But if it's 0 or more of that preceding token, if it's 0 or more of that preceding token, then sorry. Let's just copy this and reload the browser. Actually, I don't want to have this here. Yeah. And we were checking for the occurrence of 0 or more. So you can pass in the word Janja there. So you see that this asterisk is used to check for whether there is 0 or more occurrence of a character before the word Janja. So if you just type in the word Janja here, Janja, you see that Janja will be highlighted. But for the plus symbol, that is now the use of this asterisk quantifier. You notice that it's used to highlight, or rather it highlights or it matches a pattern that has, from the word Janja, it has any preceding letter, whether there is none or there is one. But if you use the plus symbol, like we had already explained the plus symbol, you see that for the plus symbol, only this Janja is being loaded to the console. Is being highlighted. Here we notice that Janja, we have several words ending in Janja, but only one occurrence. You see that it matches one or more of the preceding token. So here we have a preceding token of Janja. That's why we have Janja being matched, or rather being highlighted in our case. And something like this Janja is not being highlighted. We also have this second occurrence, Janja, also not being highlighted. But without the plus, you see that. Okay, this is case insensitive. I'll just allow it to be case sensitive. Yeah. So you see, when we search for the word Janja, you see that it's being highlighted in every occurrence of the word Janja. You already know about the optional character. So when you pass in the optional, you see that everywhere that we have Janja is being highlighted or is being matched to our pattern. Then you know about the asterisk. So the asterisk is matching also every occurrence where we have Janja and 0 or more preceding token before Janja. But now we also have the plus symbol, and the plus symbol only matches one or more preceding token of Janja. So we can also pass this DB and K as optional characters. So let's just pass them as optional characters. So we have J, we have D, D, we have B, and we have K. Yeah, we also have K. So you notice that these optional characters are being highlighted or are being matched that fill the word Janja. But now if you look at this Janja, only Janja without any preceding word, then it is not being highlighted because the plus symbol or quantifier is used to check for one or more character before the word that is passed. Different to that, we have the asterisk that matches 0 or more. So whether or not there is a word before Janja, there is a character before Janja, that occurrence of Janja will be highlighted. But if you use the plus symbol, then there must be at least one character before Janja, such that if you try and search for Janja, then nothing will be log or the occurrence of Janja will not be highlighted. So if you use Z, you see that it's still not being highlighted because we don't have Z passed among the optional fields. Now if you remove this, you see that it's an invalid target for quantifier. Why is this? Because you must be testing for an occurrence of a preceding character. So whether the preceding character should be Z. Now that it shows us that the quantifier matches one or more of the preceding token, which is Janja, and that Janja is being highlighted. Same to the asterisk. Same to the asterisk. Without a preceding token, you notice that it throws an error. But with an instance of a preceding token, you see that several of them are being highlighted. So that's it for these three symbols. The only remaining symbol is the caret and the dollar sign. So let's look at the caret and the dollar sign. Now let's look at the caret symbol. Shift 6 on your keyboard. Caret symbol matches an occurrence that is not what you're trying to pass. So if you know about the negation operator in JavaScript, if not, you can just watch the video on operators in JavaScript. So there is what we call the negation operator. And you see that in our case, if we look for the word Janja, at this time now, we don't have Janja being highlighted. This is because of the negation character or the caret character. So if you delete the caret, you see that our Janja is being logged to the console. So if you want to put, or rather you're trying to match a string which does not have a specific set of values, you can just pass these as a group. You can pass these as a group, and then you test whether that group that you're passing is not there. So if you don't want to match that group, then you use the caret symbol. So the caret symbol is used similar to the negation operator in JavaScript. Now let's understand the use of a caret and this is called the dollar sign here. So when you use the caret and a dollar sign is used to denote or rather to show the end at the end of a string. And the caret is now used to show or rather to match the beginning of a string. So we use the caret to match the beginning of a string, and we use the dollar sign to match the end of a string. So as simple as that. We already know about characters or other special symbols. Let me just call them special symbols. Special symbols. We also know about special letters. We also know about grouped characters, and you said grouped characters, you just use the parenthesis. We also know about the special symbols, and we know that for you to use any of these special symbols, then you simply have to use the escape character before it. You also know that we also know about the insensitive flag, which is the I. We also know about the global flag, which is the G. And we've already tested full word matching. Example being, now I'll just pass it in as a group, Janja. And we've also tested for ranges, that is the alpha numeric characters A to Z in lowercase, or capital A to capital Z in uppercase, or 0 to 9 for the digits. We also learned about the special letters, the W, which matches the occurrence of everything. Let's just remind ourselves, the W, which matches the occurrence of everything except for the special symbols. We've also learned about the S, which highlights the, or rather matches the spaces. We've also looked at the D, which only matches the digits or numbers between 0 and 9. Finally, we've learned about, this is everything that we've currently learned about to try and understand regular expressions. So in the next video, we are going to use our terminal, or rather our JavaScript. We are going to use JavaScript to try and manipulate this regular expression to match specific strings. So if you're interested in that, let's look at the next video. Just at the end of this video, it is going to be floating. Tap on it and see how you can use pattern matching. Have a happy coding week.